All right. So to start off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You can start with name, pronouns, and what you do.
My name is Stephanie Hawkins. I guess I prefer she pronouns. I'm an actor, a photographer here in the city. And I've lived here for about 5 years. I went to school here.
Where did you go?
I went to AMDA.
What is that?
It's called the American Music and Dramatic Academy. And I guess I graduated about 3.5 years ago. And before that I'm from Oregon, and I went to University of Oregon for vocal performance and theater arts.
Awesome. So what projects are you currently working on?
Well, in fact, in like a week, me and my boyfriend, my boyfriend is producing and directing this variety show called Hats Off, a Christmas variety show. And it's kind of like ode to all the old style variety show, like Carol Burnett and Ed Sullivan, where there's just like a whole bunch of random acts and music and comedy and sketches. So that's coming up on the 9th.
What are you doing for that?
I'm singing We're a Couple of Swells with my friend James. It's like Fred Astaire and Judy Garland did it back in the day. And we're putting like a weird like new spin. We're hobo clowns. We mess around, be idiots. It's great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
So the topic of this interview is sort of about gender and the industry that you're in. So the way we discuss gender in public discourse can be constantly evolving. The language we use to describe our bodies also varies from one generation to the next, but one consistent thing that has united queer movements, feminist movements, trans movements has been this idea that the personal is political. Mm-hmm. So can you talk about some experiences you've had, positive or negative, that influence your creative practice?
With like gender roles in general and...
Yeah, whatever you want to share.
I suppose it would be just the whole like... I don't know, I'm trying to use the right word, not stigma, but just like expectations. That's the word I'm looking for like being a female in theater is very, like there's so many, I feel like, and there's these like boxes, like especially musical theaters, like little musical theater boxes that females should be in, and it's intimidating and like accessible for so many. And it's just a lot of competition for something that I don't know. It's like very like you see when I go to auditions. It's very like high heels and pink dresses, and you have to look feminine and small and tiny. And to be in musical theater, I was like, luckily it's getting better now. But I definitely would walk into a room and be like, I'm too tall for this crowd, or like for this. It's just there's not a whole lot of roles that are accessible for a whole variety of type of like women and gender. It seems to be very cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm. And how does that influence your own performance when you are in a role? How do you use that experience?
I guess trying to feel like I have to be put like within those cookie cutter walls, and so it doesn't feel like a lot of freedom. It feels like a lot of gotta do this the way that it wants to be seen, which I don't think it's becoming better every day, but like it's still very present, and like just feeling comfortable to like be whatever, like going outside of the box and just trying new things, and not like ruining expectations or whatever for keeping a job.
Mm-hmm. So what is your best creative process? What does it look like? And what do you need to produce your best work?
Confidence. I think just like trusting and doing a mantra of like, I am good enough. I myself, as who I am, is good enough for the world and for what I want to create. And I guess like just putting something out there and just repeating the mantra of like, I'm good enough. What I produce is good enough. And what I give is good enough.
Yeah, and I can see how that would definitely relate to, you know, you need freedom from those boxes in order to produce your best work.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just allowing myself to have that freedom and realizing that people out there will like it and people out there will hate it. Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
So you touched on competition earlier in the interview, and that's actually part of my next question. So in New York City in particular, and in the arts in general, competition is just a fact of the job. We have to compete for resources, and as women, we are often competing for the same resources.
Yes.
Exactly the same roles. So given those limited resources, what could you do with unlimited resources? What would you want to achieve if keeping the job was not an issue?
That's a good question. I guess just freeing everyone of concern and like giving a sense of freedom from concern to myself and to other people, and just letting everyone exist without like walls, safely. And you know, like, but I guess it would just be to free myself and everyone of concern. That's very broad and general.
Yeah,
but
it is.
That's a good question, though. I have to think about it more specifically.
Well, yeah, if you think of something and want to come back to that, we absolutely can. But for now, so one of the best ways to move beyond that sort of boxes is to create roles for each other, create space for each other. Can you think of a time when another woman has created space for you and how that felt? And who has helped you on your journey?
My sister has really helped me. She actually recently came out to me within the past few years. She as transgender, and she is the most sensitive, most knowledgeable soul I've ever met. And just like talking with her and speaking with her and having her tell me everything has opened me up in a lot of huge just life ways, but also like noticing more in the industry is like a big thing. It's a big thing. And it's like hard, but like I'm very grateful and very happy for her. And yeah.
That's great. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's she's really great. She's so smart and so knowledgeable. Yeah.
So what steps do you take to create space for trans women and women of color and differently abled people?
I guess just like keeping the conversation open and safe for people, like even people that don't quite understand it and are like come from it from like a foreign way of like, what? I don't understand. It's just kind of like being able to be like, okay, well, I mean, it's safe where we're talking, but like, what questions do you have? And I have questions, and I ask questions a lot. And just realizing that it's okay to have questions, but like to approach the situation like respectfully, as much as possible.
That's great. What other things would you like to talk about? Anything you'd like to share about your experience in theater, about gender?
Well, I guess it was just how much I appreciate theater in general. Like coming from a very Christian religious background, it was very helpful to like go into high school and then suddenly like enroll myself into theater and be just like surrounded by a whole just different array of people and values and views, and like poking fun at each other and enjoying each other's company and playing and being idiots in front of each other. It was like, I think theater is a beautiful thing that just makes people realize that people are people, and it's fun, and life should be fun and stupid and silly and important. Yeah.
All right.
I just go theater.
Yeah.
It's really been a big part of my life and helped with a lot of different things, and continues to.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much. That's all of our questions for today. Did you have
Thank
any?
you.
Yeah.
And then
you.
you're going.
Do you have anything to plug?
Anything to plug? Oh, come see Hats Off at the Producers Club Theater on December 9th at 3 p.m. and again at 8 p.m. It'll be fun and full of music and laughter and joyful holiday happiness.